or does that seem better? Okay. Hopefully not too bad now. Apologies, I was offline just trying to sort out my my stream. It was just a little bit all over the place. Anyway, back. So, starting to see a little bit of a push to the upside. It's only been, what, 20 minutes into the session. So I like to see this pump to the start, because that for me tells me one thing and one thing alone, that realistically, the price will probably come and push back down. This could be more of a liquidity grab before it move back down. We shall see. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So yeah, let's just see how we go. I mean, pretty boring game sometimes when you just sit and looking at the charts, but hey ho. I would remove that now. So we seem to have a bit of a order block here. What are we on, the 15-minute? So this would be, depending on how the market goes, I'd like to see it come back down and test it. If it wants to continue higher, let's see how it respects this order block here. We also have some fair value gap here as well. It is struggling to move up though. It really is struggling to move up. I always like to see the first test of an order block. I always like to just see how it responds. So I would be keen to just see an order come in here. I always like to draw me inducements. We are seeing some volume as well increasing, which is nice, proportionately so. But you can see from a volume spread analysis perspective, you can see right now each candle here is getting smaller than the previous. So you can almost guarantee when you see this first candle comes up, volume is relatively high. Second candle, slightly lower, but proportion to the volume. And then the third candle, volume is lower. Fourth candle tries to come up, but ends up being a down candle. So you would anticipate that that would be an obvious move. It's too small for me though. I'm not interested in kind of scalping. So where I'd be interested in, I mean, this is, you can see how many times we've respected this zone here. Just kind of as we've come down. We've had a couple of wicks to signify liquidity grabs, only small, but just kind of monitoring it. I really want to see it around here. I want to see it affect these zones. But I guess what you could say, you know, we've had a bit of an impulsive move to the upside here, bit of a retracement. Could see another push to the upside if this is like a, you know, an Elliott wave, as a 5 wave. So we shall see. Yeah, my frame rate was all over the place. I had I think it was on ultra low for latency, which doesn't help. I also had, I think I was trying to film on like super mega HD, whatever else, so I've just kind of curtailed it a little bit and brought it back in line. Where's your current orders at, Kick? Have you got anything? I know you've currently got an order like me. You're long and right. You're scaled. You've got a scaled entry, which is a long entry. Is that right? So presumably you're waiting for a move back up. I think that's what I read before in the Discord. On the bigger time frames, by the way, 4 hours. Let's just come bring this in here. So, volume zones. Obviously, this is where we broke down from. This is the next volume zone, right down here, down at that 20,100. You want more down. Okay. So, you can see how difficult it's been. So this whole area here, if we put them touch points on, you can see we've broke that. So we are down. So it's like, well, what do we do now? Do we come back and retest this area here before another move to the downside? Because again, you know, just breaking it down as kind of Elliott wave theory. And again, this is more just for general directional stuff. You know, we can see that this is probably move number 1, and you could probably count 5 waves within that. Then you've got your kind of your retracement for your corrective move. For me, that's a little bit too small for a wave 3. This could be, you know, the start of a much more impulsive move down. So, got to be mindful of that. So this could be like wave 1, wave 2, back up on your smaller wave, and then back down here. You know, so this zone is really one that I'm keeping my eyes close to, where I'd expect a much larger reversal. However, again, you've got to concede here as well. You know, we're in the spirit of liquidity, there's going to be a shitload of liquidity here. Huge move to the downside. This would be a zone I'd like to be able to kind of focus on from a move. So we'll see. Carlito, I know you've got a nice move as well. What was your entry? If you're still in, Carlos, you've got longs at 21,330. Let me just tidy this up a little bit. It's getting a little bit messy here. Get rid of that. 21,330. Yeah, that's nice. Because is that scaled? Because again, this would be for me anyway. That this is where if we do come down as low as here, I would be exactly doing that. I would want to scale some longs from this point, because we very rarely see just complete fallen knives. You do get it, but normally you need something to kick-start that, like a news event or something that's going to, you know, create that activity. That happens in the Asian session, by the way, and so you don't normally get that. So you tend to find these kind of impulse come back, you know, retest and get back. So I think I would also anticipate a long. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that there's still a potential that if we are following some sort of a 5-wave structure, then, you know, wave 3 you tend to find is the juicier wave, let's just say. So I would have a tentative scaled long position here, and I'm waiting for that to basically come in, but with a relatively just low risk. I wouldn't go too crazy with this move, because if we are going to continue to break down, this would be the area I would look to really get involved. And you've got to look at the macro picture as well. I mean, right now, where we are, having said that, if we do break here, we do get a change of character, which is to say, you know, the structure of the actual bullish momentum now on a much more macro time frame is now starting to turn bearish. I mean, we're not far from that, so that's going to be very interesting. Any kind of wick below that would essentially do that. So we need to see how we react. Let's go back to the 15-minute. Let's see what's going on. So we did get a big bounce off here, which, you know, indicates that this is some sort of a, you know, a reaction. And I'd be keen to see how this zone gets respected, whether it's some sort of an order block. It's only relatively weak on a 15-minute. What does it look like on the 1 hour? Yeah. But then you'd have to go up here, wouldn't you? I'm more of a wick guy. I like wicks. Okay. Where I would definitely short from is just above this range here. I'll be looking for another short because, again, you know, if we take liquidity, I don't think push, just because of the momentum, I don't think this is a likelihood of us coming and claiming as high as here from this drop. If anything, I think this is probably a more likely area for liquidity. Ooh. Try that again. I think something around there. So I'm going to be, I'll do this on the fly. I'll probably do this as a market order, because what I'll be wanting to do is, if we do decide to come up here, and we've already seen some reaction, you could, I mean, you guys tell me if I'm wrong here, but you could almost concede that would be a level of an order block, but it's already been, well, actually it wouldn't no more, because it would have been removed or mitigated with that. But I would say, for me, if we come and entice into this zone, I'm then going to be monitoring to see here how we react. See if I can bring this in. What are we on? 5 minutes. Let's go to the let's do the 15-minute. Yeah, there's that line there. Kind of that region. Yeah. Somewhere around there. Alright. Price is definitely trying to have another push though. Just don't like the volume. Saying that we're only 4 minutes into a 15-minute candle, so there's plenty of time. I just need to get my order ready in case it wants to come and test that zone. Arbitrarily, you could probably say that could go a bit higher, given that, you know, that's been the, oh, wrong one. That's been the region. Current average entry is 21,544. Is this a long position? Yeah. No, it'd be a short, sorry, wouldn't it? Come on, Bitcoin. What have you got for us, baby? You look like you want to push up. Here we go. This would be a beautiful move, by the way. If we push up, if we push up here, because I just don't, I don't think we're going to go as high as here. I really don't. But I would love to see the price come up to here, because I would short the arse off it there. I think it just would be a nice move. Having said that, we've got a lot of liquidity at these different areas, and sometimes, you know, the markets have a nasty habit of, you know, coming up, claiming liquidity at these points before a move back to the downside. So, you know, here, and then, you know, potentially a move back down. Be a big move, that, though, which is why I don't think it's feasible. I think it's probably more likely that we'll come back up here, because that would signify break of structure and almost, at least at a smaller time frame anyway, a change of character. And I just think the structure, based upon what I've just analysed, at least from an Elliott wave perspective, and you've got to be careful not to get yourself locked into this, by the way, suggests more down. Our friend Powell was absolutely dragged through the coals again, wasn't he? He's had a few of those nasty bumps to the head, let's just say. What did the unemployment come out at? I think was that at? Let me just have a quick check of the trading calendar. I'm just checking. US unemployment claims. So there was more unemployment claimed than last month. So they anticipated that it was going to be 195, but actually it was 211. So that would give at least some buoyancy to the fact that unemployment is starting to rise. So that's normally, you know, good for currency, let's just say, or good for off-risk assets. But it does look like it wants to push up. Can't break it, can it? Liquidity grab. What's the DXY doing? That's come down a little bit. DXY's been on a bit of a tear, hasn't it, really? Sticking around that 382. Realistically, we could come down, you know, as low as any of here. Golden pocket area, maybe. Keep an eye on that. How's the yields? 4.97. Inverted, right. About the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's pushing up. It was at a very, very significant key level, wasn't it, the Nasdaq? Let's just have a quick check of something. What are we on the 15 minutes? See. Nearly had a bounce just at the 0.5. Yeah, it looks like a corrective move. It's definitely pushing back up. Oh, the S&P. Similar story. Yeah, bounce right at that golden pocket zone. That's really starting to rip up. Have to keep an eye on that. So we probably anticipate, based upon what the general market's doing, that we should expect a bit more of a move up. Where's this move? So that'll be a nice zone. That's just above that liquidity. Golden pocket right above where that liquidity line is. That would be an interesting area which we actually may come back up to. So you know what? I may have to change that initial idea. I hadn't checked that. If we're playing safe, I don't like to scalp trade. I don't like to kind of get in and out, because if you're using higher leverage, well, it costs you more to get in and out on scalp trades than it was to make the money. You kind of feel like you need to be making well, at least 200 or 300 basis point moves to kind of, you know, get you anything worth taking on, let's just say. So my kind of thing is I like to try to get 300 points. We're not really moving anywhere though. They don't really make for fun live streams, do they? I maybe need to start. What's ETH doing? Let's have a look at ETH. They no longer exist. That no longer exists. These are older ones. We had to get rid of them now. Gain ETH, very similar. That was quite interesting. I drew that here at this point, and I've not really came back and reviewed it since then. But it did act as a nice supply zone actually. You know, for the next few. Well, here would have been a nice move. Here would have been a stunner move if you'd have got a few orders there. But I wasn't really paying too much attention from when I do that. But hey, it is what it is. And then we look to be breaking down. Okay. Well, that favours me. I'm currently in a short anyway from $22,024. So let's see what you got. When you see this kind of wiki activity, it tells you one thing, that price is really struggling to move up. You see, getting very wiki. So what does that tell us? We're only at 15 minutes. So let's see. I want to see how we react. I'm not going to put an order in here, but I want to see how we react to this zone here. I always find, I don't know if you guys would agree with this. So like, obviously the markets come in at in UK time 2:30, New York opens. You tend to see the move happen at 3:30, so an hour later. So you know, you normally see a bit of kind of wishy-washy zigzagging, and you got to remember, I always think about this because it's so easy to get greedy with moves, and you know, depending on when I say leverage at 100x and whatever else, that's not to say that it's a risky move, because you could still apply 100x on cross margin as an example and still have relatively sound risk management in terms of where your stop is. It just depends upon how much basis point, you know, value per basis point you're going for. But most traders will just use 100x leverage to try to trade and snipe a few points, and it's not always, well, it's less than 80 basis point move, and if you look, just where are we? Let's get that. You know, if you just go from kind of here to there, well, you're talking at least nearly, well, 280 basis points. So that would have probably washed a few out, but we are starting to see we're getting a lot of struggling resistance. So I'm not gonna ape into a short here, but it's just, you're just looking at the general way in which the candles are respecting this zone, and you know, this push up is coming to a bit of a struggle. Let's just see what's going on the footprints. So let me just zoom in a little bit. What are we on? I want to go, yeah, we're on the 15 minute. Let's see what these 3 candles have represented. Sorry about this, just let me try to zoom in. Well, you can see, I mean, the volume here, the majority of the volume is at the low point of the candle, but the majority is kind of in the center, but the point of control where most volume is traded was up here, and same up here. Yeah, so it's starting to give you clues that sellers are really interested at this point and coming in strong. A lot of buying imbalances at the top. Yeah, so again, they did get free with this candle here, so there might have been a bit of break-even profit taken at this point. Let's see, here's a new candle coming in. Still pushing up though. It's just not going anywhere. Big imbalance here. I'm assuming there's bigger players here. Stopping the price going up. Limit orders starting to come in. Let's have a look. Can't quite tell. You see CVD, so you're getting well, yeah, it tells a picture in itself. So we're seeing here, so this is let's say market order pressure. Yeah, I think you'd agree that that's going from, you know, certainly upward, so that means seen a lot of buying pressure come in. Actually, I'll take it from here because this is where that candle is. Yeah, what you are seeing is actually it's not being reflected in the price. So that tells you that there's limit orders. You can see the limit orders here that have been absorbing that. And so you'd anticipate now that we're going to start to break down. Let's see. Here we go. Want to see how we react at after 10 minutes. A lot of trading is just sitting off waiting for your opportunity. It's not a good time to be trading in and out of these zones. You're either trading where the liquidity is, area of value, or you're sitting on the sidelines. You don't ape into these silly ideas. Patience is one of the most difficult things to master, by the way. Presume DXY is heading back up. Yeah. So it's coming up against some resistance at that 382. Alright, makes sense. Who've we currently got in the room? I know there's 3 of yous. Probably kick. Oh, here we are. Move down. No, you're interested? I want to see volume. I think we probably got kick, we probably got front man, and there's someone else. Reveal yourself. This is a clue. This here is a clue that we are really struggling at this zone. Right along this area. Bigger players are absorbing that pressure. I do see a move breaking down now. It's a tug of war going on right now. You can see money's coming into the market. But that's definitely not being respected by the price because, as I say, CVD's on the rise, but it's not doing what it needs to do. It's not able to push the price up. Bigger players absorbing. I don't like that. Look, the volume's at the bottom. That, you know, this is formal trading right now. It's where you see all the volume coming in. I want to see that at the top of the move, not at the bottom of the move. We have got a lot of trap trades at the top. Obviously, price is reversed. We've seen a lot of volume here. Do another 10 or 15 minutes, I think. You can see there's big imbalances at the bottom. It's going to be able to break through. All the volumes being down here. That it's a signification for me that you see a lot of kind of FOMO trading where people are pushing down because they can see the breakdown. You know, you can see that these candles here have all, you know, been struggling to push to the upside. And eventually we should see a break. I really do believe we'll see a break to the downside because, you know, we just it's not it. Well, there's no interest from buyers to keep pushing the price up at this point, so we shall see. But we're also seeing a lot of buyers coming in here, interested at this zone. This is the naked point of control from, you know, this candle here, so it's getting well defended at the moment. And here, by the way, is your daily value area low. So that's that 70% range that we're trading between. So right now, it's this whole area is going to be difficult to break. However, if we do break this value area low here, well then it either comes back and retests before a move to the downside, or we just blow through it. Where am I interested in a short? Let's see. Or long, sorry. Let's get back to the main charts. Yeah, it's just really struggling, isn't it? Let's go back to the hour. I like this area here. For me, if price wants to come up here, I will certainly look and be entertained in an order. This is certainly a value area. Get rid of that one. But then I'd also be interested in this area here. So these are the areas. Let's take the volume zones off. I think this one would be fireworks in this zone. I think you'll get a lot of bulls simply because it's that zone there where if we break that, realistically, we're then into change of character and bearish macro structure. So it'll be interesting. So it's this range, this whole range here is, I think we're probably going to spend a bit of time in. But I'm currently in a short, and I'm going to maintain that short, I think, because we're just not seeing any effort from the bulls at all. In fact, it's really struggling. However, I'd say we're not even seeing any too much effect by the bears. What have we got on the horizon? What people are anticipating? Is there anything that on the kind of fundamental landscape that people are nervous about trading on? Because Bitcoin's been shit lately in terms of moves. I may need to start looking at other trading opportunities because Bitcoin's just a bit too slow at the moment. This week, Friday's a big day. Unemployment rate, US non-farm payroll, and month-on-month earnings. I think that'll be an interesting day tomorrow. All happening at an hour before the open. Got a good fair value gap here as well, right down at that same area. The way you could look at this is, some sort of a corrective move from this push to the upside as well. Because again, it's stuck in this kind of zone right now. It doesn't seem to be able to break down or break up. There's a big tug of war going on. Daily range. You can see that daily level is provides a lot of resistance, support. It's got to break through that. I think that's also the monthly level as well. See, there's the weekly level. That's why this is why we're stuck in that zone, because that's the weekly level and that's the daily level. We've got a lot of resistance here and we've got a lot of support down here. What's that? It's about 300 basis points. Okay, it's 3:30 UK time. Lots of big short and imbalances. Just can't push the price down. We know why. It's because we're in between two really aggressive areas, daily level and a weekly level. Look at the imbalances there. Huge amounts of sell side liquidity, but just can't push the price down. Just bigger players absorbing that liquidity. Don't want to push the price down. We're gridlocked at the moment. It's shit. I hate days like this. I hate trading when days are just like this. Tug of war. No one wants to let go. Nothing. Doesn't want to play. Back up to the point of control, of course. Just no fire in the belly at the moment with this. Can't get past the weekly. Can't get past the daily. I mean, I'm okay. I'm still in the short. I'm still in that initial short from that 22,040 or somewhere up here. So I can't see the price going high. It's just, it needs to break this resistance here, which has just been the support line here, which has just been an absolute pig. There's an awful lot resting on this zone here, and it may not break. And so probably not the best of streams, to be fair. But you know, as soon as I go, something will happen, and we don't catch you. At least not on this on the live. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call it here, guys. Thanks for streaming in, watching in. I'll be back online tomorrow.